Hi everyone, and welcome to my next video. This one is all about coping with going out again, especially after lockdown. So those who don't know me, I have been suffering with depression since 2016. I also have IBS, which the symptoms really started prominently coming on since 2013, and just a little tangent off of that. I want to let people know that IBS is not how the commercials make it out to seem, you know, oh, a bit of a funny stomach, take a medicine, you're all better. It really isn't like that, but that's for another day. So basically, symptoms have been getting worse and worse over the years, to the point that I just kept cancelling out on social events, or having to leave to go home early. And of course this had a major effect on my mental health. In summer of 2019, that is when I made the decision to leave my employed job, and things afterwards got a bit easier. Excuse me. And I did start going out again a bit more. You know, it was recovering, not recovered. I think that's the key. And then of course the pandemic hit, and I have to say, for the first 2 months of the lockdown was actually quite nice for me. I know that sounds really horrible. There's a lot of people that really struggled, but for me it was 2 months of not having to cancel any plans, not having to worry about, you know, if I can make it out anywhere. It was just peaceful for a while. However, soon I really started craving going out again, and this is actually a good thing, that mentally I'm ready to, you know, get back out there. You know, even though physically I still have issues and they will never go away, but it's a good first step that I actually want to get out there. So a few weeks ago I met up with a friend. I met him at the local train station, so I got the bus up into town. We then walked down to the beach, grabbed some food, and then sat out on the beach for a few hours. It was actually a really good day, but it probably wouldn't have happened if I didn't have some coping mechanisms in place, and these are what I do to help me get out and about. So my coping mechanism number one is to be distracted. So one of my biggest issues is that my stomach pains can be brought on from too much stress and anxiety. So by keeping my mind distracted from that, I am more likely not to get ill. So what happened was, my mum walked me to the bus stop, and we just chatted until the bus turned up about, you know, any old small talk, nothing, you know, in particular. But my mind went off from thinking about getting on a bus, which I hadn't got on a bus for over a year at that point, and hadn't got a bus on my own for about 4 years at that point. So it was a really big deal, especially the fact having to wear masks on top of it, and it was yeah, it wasn't very good. But having that distraction at the bus stop really helped me to make that step. My second coping mechanism is to have public facilities with easy access. So even if I don't need to use them, just knowing that they are there is a big relief for me. At the time that I met my friend, all the pubs were still shut, but thankfully the public toilets out in sort of the local garden areas and along the beach were all open, and that was something I did check beforehand. I'm not going anywhere if they aren't open. And my coping mechanism number 3 is to have a what I call an an escape plan. I suppose that's the best way to describe it. It's that if I were to get ill or overwhelmed with my senses whilst I'm out and about, I want to know that I can get home quite easily. So for this particular day, it was the case that my dad had offered to give me a lift back home. Went with my friend back to the train station. I rang my dad up and said, right, I'm ready to go home now, and he came and picked me up. I think if he wasn't going to do that, I probably would have gotten a taxi to go back home, which obviously would have been a bit pain. It's a lot more money, but that would have been much better than having to get the bus back. So basically that is really what I do each time I plan an event out, is the steps of trying and keep my mind distracted, making sure there's facilities nearby, and having a get home quick plan. And of course there's so much more to think of it than that. I'm thinking every single step, you know, getting on the bus, walking to meet my friend, heading down to town, where are we going to eat, is it going to be crowded on the beach? There's just so much more to it. But if I can get those 3 mechanisms in place, I am much more likely to have a good day out. So this next part is more a message to my friends and family on how to help me to keep going out more, and that is actually to not encourage me to keep going out. I know that sounds really bizarre, and you know, they obviously have their good intentions as to wanting me to go out, and that's lovely, but encouragement to me sounds like force. And if I'm forced to go out, then anxiety, stress, senses go all over the place. It's not the best experience, and I am more likely to then cancel or go home early. And secondly, I don't want comments like, oh, but you should be going out, or you haven't seen so and so for ages, shouldn't you be meeting up with them, or you regret going, you know, or you regret not going and meeting them. This is not helpful advice. This is actually making me feel guilty on top of whatever reason it is that I'm not going out. And I think the bottom line is just let me be the leader of my own path of going out and with all the social events. So if I say I can't go, or I cancel at the last minute, or we're out and I have to leave home early, just accept it. Be like, okay, that's fine, we'll see you next time, not a problem. Don't make a big deal out of it. Just let me be me on that. Otherwise it's really not helping, and if you cause a big scene, especially while we're out and about, I'm just more likely not to go out the next time. I've had so many events that's resulted in people saying, oh no, stay up for a bit longer, stay up for a bit longer. Panic attacks then start happening, and I just want to get home even more, and then this is more likely to lead on with like IBS flare-ups, and then that increases my panic attacks, and it's just not good. So just let me do what I need to do, will be good. I am more likely to recover earlier and hopefully then live a good life from that. So I hope that helped in any way. Perhaps you can pass this video on to your friends and family who may need to hear the same things. Perhaps you are feeling the exact same way in how you need to cope with the situation, and if this is helpful to you, then that is great. So yes, thank you very much for watching. If you can give this a thumbs up, I would really appreciate that. If you have any comments, please do leave them. I will also put in the description my Twitter account if you wanted to follow me there, and of course please do subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you very much.